Welcome to Blade HQ, everybody. Today is Monday, December 9th, 2024. We are nearing the end of the year, but we still have a ton of awesome new knives to talk about. This week's New Knives episode is brought to you by Bestech Knives. Bestech is one of our favorite brands because they are an amazing international team of knife makers, designers, industrial, whatever. They do everything, and they are so prolific. Some of the most prolific knives out there. This week, they did provide some knives for the giveaway that we gave away in the live. If you want to get on that giveaway, make sure to join us every Monday morning. Well, every Monday at noon Mountain Standard. It might be morning, it might be afternoon for you. But noon Mountain Standard, you can come and enter these giveaways. We'll hope to see you there. But Bestech is a brand we know and love. They make a lot of really great knives, and they make them at really great values, too. Like this guy right here, its pricing isn't ridiculous considering this really robust Damascus steel blade. Look how thick it is, and how much of a razor-like swoop you get here with a really nice piercy tip. And this G10, I mean, I would imagine that pressing this would make bubbles, but somehow they do it just right to make no bubbles with a really nice micro texture. You can see a lot of passion in the design and a lot of skill and expertise in the machining. And their budget stuff is great as well. We also have this guy, this is the Explorer, and its chisel-y Tanto tip would be so good for scraping, almost prying. A D2 blade is nice and tough. G10, really excellent stuff. And their Best Techman line as well is incredibly good, especially considering its price. Like the Good Boy you can get for around 50 bucks, designed by my friend Keanu Alfaro, is one of the best EDC knives of all time. Full stop. Thank you, Bestech, for sponsoring today. We love you guys. Keep making awesome knives, and we will keep selling them. But with that, let's talk new knives, starting with this guy. This is the Emerson Knife Company, Emerson Automatic Knife Company, A100. So apparently the A100 is a design that Ernest Emerson, came out with before even the Wave. So one of the oldest Emerson designs out there. We have a very modern, very snappy automatic action. You can see it just rattled my arm as I open it. But aluminum handles, G10 inlay with really coarse texturing, kind of like you expect from an Emerson, a 154 cm blade, and in classic Emerson fashion, chisel ground, at least in the edge. So you can see it has an edge bevel on this side, but not on this side. And what that gives you is a very thin edge that slices like a champion, and also the robustness of the spine here. So it's a self-defense knife through and through, tactical to the extreme. Emerson is one of the gold standards when it comes to tactical, and I love that they have automatic knife companies, that they have their automatic knife company, and I'm especially honored that they share it with Blade HQ. So you can pick these up. These goes for $400, USA made, backed by a great warranty, and with the Emerson name on them. Excellent, excellent knives. Next up, we have a bunch of new stuff from Flytanium, starting with some scales and then a really cool knife we'll get to. So we've seen their Desert Warrior scales that they make for a bunch of things. So this is the Paramilitary 2, and this one's installed, where you have these really nice G10 scales with printed sprinkles. So the sprinkles almost add a little bit of extra grip to the knife, which is a nice touch. And then we have these blue Cerakote finished pocket clips sort of finish off the vibe. Very exciting. This will fit all of your PM2s with the exception of the Crew Carta one because it has full liners. You need one with a nested liner if it's going to work for you. We also have the same setup for the Para 3. However, we don't have an install of that on the table today. We just have the scales. But these will come with the same pocket clip as well. And we also have installs of the Demkos. These are really exciting. So this is the 80-20.5, and it has that blue in the back spacer instead of the pocket clip. Other than that, it's the same start clock you know and love, but with a really nice G10 handle that is going to be high vis, high laughs, excellent. And we get that in the black-coated shark's foot or the black-coated clip point. I'm more of a clip point guy, but I know a lot of shark's foot folks out there as well. Very exciting indeed. So the scales go for $84 and the installed Demkos are going for $230. So pick those up. I imagine that they will go pretty quick, as all Desert Warrior stuff tends to. Next up, Flytanium has released a new knife entitled the BEEF. And BEEF doesn't stand for anything, even though it's fully capitalized. I think it's because when you say it, it means beef, you know, like beefy. We have full liners, G10 handle scales, crossbar lock, D2 blade, and it's covered by the bits warranty for all the bits. So if you break a screw or your pocket clip or whatever, it's backed by almost an SE level warranty. So they hope that you will get out, beat this thing to tar, and if it fails you, they'll cover it you. And the pricing is really great too. 60 bucks gets you this absolute behemoth of a knife. And I see this and it looks brutal. It looks like it wants to go to work. It's not a safe queen or anything. It's just like, please go abuse me a little bit. That's a great thing, especially for a knife of this price and from a company as respected as Flytanium. Next up from GiantMouse, we have the GMF2 Scout fixed blade. We have a Bowler N690 blade with a beautiful crowned spine, this nice textured micarta handle, and a really nice Kydex sheath, which includes my favorite way to carry a fixed blade, which is these soft loops. So these are mostly designed for like holsters and that sort of thing, but they make for great scout carry because they hold this right against your back. So it doesn't stick out, it doesn't print, it doesn't do any of that, but makes your knife really quick and accessible. And I really like this knife as well because it has a very neutral handle, but you're still getting the benefits of this little hook back here. Because as you grab the knife, this hugs your pinky just a teeny little bit, so it's not gonna scoot around on you, but it's a really great cutting tool. They did a really good job with this one, and I love this Kydex, and it has a pull the dot snap on there. So we don't talk about these snaps very often, but these are pretty common in sheaths. What these mean is if this is on your belt and it gets yanked or anything, it's not going anywhere. But if you come from the other side and you see where this little dot is, this dent, there's a hook underneath that engages the snap. So if you just pull up on the dot, you can get the snap and you can kind of see what it means back there. But then you just rotate it back, snap it down, and no power that you can exert will break that. In fact, I've only seen a pull the dot snap fail once, and it was because the Chicago screw broke, not because the snap broke, which I think is quite impressive. Very nicely done on this one. This one goes for $235. Next up, Chaves has given us a distributor exclusive of the CHUB OTF, and you can only get it at Blade HQ. So the CHUB OTF is special because, in my knowledge, this is the first true double action out the front utility knife. And it's been very popular. You get a nice 4-finger grip, the really convenient Chaves designed method of blade removal. You just push this little thing out of the way, grab it, replace your blade. It couldn't be easier, and it's a nice slick OTF. USA made right here in Pleasant Grove, Utah. Milled titanium clip with the Chaves skull design, and this one's the gray aluminum version. So once again, Chaves has a fairly new operation here in Utah where they are making some really awesome stuff. However, they are not capable of putting out tens of thousands of knives, and they honestly are struggling to meet with the demand because the demand is just so big. I don't think any size of factory can meet the demand for these. So if you want one of these, I would act fast because there are a lot less of them than there are people that want them. Next up, we have the Desert Knife Works Sand Shark. And this is a brand I'd never heard of until last week, but boy, have I heard of them now. They have a buttery smooth action, a nice sound to them, and a really nice heft as well. They have an M390 blade, this nice aluminum handle, deep carry pocket clip, and a nice glass breaker at the back. Feels very tactical, has great ergonomics, and has a cool sand shark engraved on it. And the thing I noticed about this is a big knife. This is probably a 4-inch blade on an OTF, but it's fairly slim and still pocketable, but hits like a tank. It's a great thing. Desert Knife Works is a brand I haven't seen much of before, but I fully anticipate to see much of them in the future. This is a premium OTF, and it comes with a premium price, $515 at Blade HQ right now. M390 blade, lots of fun. And then last on the table, we have the new Big Bro Jack from Jack Wolf. This one's kind of fun. It has a real Barlow-esque pattern. I think this might be my favorite Jack Wolf design to date. It has an S90V blade, titanium bolsters, and this really nice carbon fiber on this particular one. We also have this Curanite and more of a bead-blast stone-washed titanium and blade. And we also have this guy with sort of this ivory micarta and the polished bolsters. But the big thing on the table today, by the way, these are all going for $299, is the addition of the steel line from Jack Wolf. So Jack Wolf is known for like no holds barred, best in class slip joints. And this one is every bit as well built as those ones. However, it has a 14C28 end blade, and that brings the price down quite a bit. $199 for this guy. Same micarta handle, nice polished bolster, that walk and talk you've come to know and love out of a Jack Wolf. Very exciting and quite a bit less expensive as well. So if you've been eyeing a Jack Wolf but aren't quite ready to lay down $300 for one, you can get one for a much better price now because of the steel line. And as far as I'm aware, it's debut with this guy. So thank you all for joining us today. This is a ton of new knives. We'll be back next Monday with even more, and I would make sure you're subscribed to Blade HQ because in the next month, in January, we've got SHOT Show coming along, and all of the brands are going to be announcing their new stuff, and it's a absolutely wild ride. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.